Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're just going to continue some of the discussion that arose from the AMA we had last week. Well, the answers to the AMA, I guess it started 2 weeks ago. So we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about club consistency, center of gravity, and we're also going to talk about offset. Again, I know, buckle up. Okay, so for starters, we were looking at some mid-80s Hogan radials. I think these are the stainless steel variety, I think. Anyway, they're off their shaft, so they're easy to manipulate here in front of the camera, so we're going to use these in front of the camera today. And I think I just saw my reflection. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anyway, get that reflection off of here. So, why does it matter consistency? Why would it matter? So, when Ben Hogan was playing, 30s, 40s, 50s, I don't remember exactly which decade, but I've seen clubs from one of those decades where Ben Hogan played, and through the set, there are wear marks on the irons where he hit. Very consistent ball striker. I heard a term that I like. Who said it? I think it was Mark Crossfield. Either way, it's not my, none of this is my original thinking, okay? I'm just regurgitating what engineers and other people have said. Mark Crossfield used the word center of gravity tracking. I'm not sure if that's a normal thing, but that's what Ben Hogan was doing clearly, because I don't remember exactly which irons. I'm just going to make some up here. But so let's say his 7 iron, dead center. And then his 8 iron, a little heel. The wear was on the heel. And then his 6 iron, the wear was on slightly toe. It was 3 millimeters towards the toe versus the center versus heel side. Okay, and he would he would hit that consistently right there in the center of gravity every time. If you're Ben Hogan, that works great. But if you're me, then one day you can be swinging half an inch, let's use a golf ball here, half an inch off of that center of gravity. Okay, 7 iron, half an inch off, fine. 6 iron, it's towards the toe, so half an inch off is fine. And then you get to that 8 iron, and you hit it half an inch off and you're heel shanking, which I've been known to do. So, yeah, at that point you'd want it in the most forgiving spot where if you hit it toe side or heel side, you're going to hit those grooves and get the most spin and forgiveness, aren't you? So that's why it matters. Because, the idea of, we'll just center of gravity checks, doesn't matter if it's consistent or not. That's true if you're Ben Hogan. There are other things, which are really hard for somebody like me to really appreciate, because I'm not perfect. Like when you look at some of the hand-cut grooves in the olden days, they weren't the same depth, they weren't the same distance apart. Modern grooves, even in Ben Hogan really upped the game. In the late 50s, 60s, 70s, it just got better and better and better to today, where the grooves are very consistent and very sharp. So new irons will have sharper grooves than old clubs. They'll be more consistently. Modern clubs are the way to go if you want to shoot a low score. Let's just leave it at that. Lots to discuss. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, we've already discussed that. So, and another thought. Some pros have their blades customized with different grinds and different things, which will move their center of gravity off a little bit. They'll put lead tape on their clubs. Again, that can mess with the center of gravity, but these are pros, okay? They're not the vintage golfer with half an inch or more sometimes of mishits. They're going to be very consistent ball strikers and they know what they're doing. And if you're making millions of dollars, you're entitled to, have the final say in what you want to play. All right, so let's move on to this discussion about offset. I'm just going to use this club as an example. I have a Ping I2 here. Let's roll this in real quick. So Ping I2. So in the last video where I discussed offset, and this is a continuing discussion, I get not empirical data, but observational data where people say, I hit blades with no offset, and then I was slicing them, and then I hit an offset club and I wasn't slicing it, so it helps me close the face, okay? I'll give you the idea that offset can help with your slice, but it's not because it helps you close your face. And they say it's because that extra distance that you have here, right? So there's a 1/10 inch offset. And so they're suggesting that 1/10 inch makes the difference between their face 2 degrees open or closed, right? Now, here's why that's not going to fly with the engineers who are designing these clubs. That's not why they do it in the first place, okay? They do it because MOI, it gives this club resistance to angular acceleration. Another way of saying, if you apply it here, let's see if I can demonstrate this. So a club with no offset, okay, you apply a force right here, it's going to experience an angular acceleration, meaning it's going to twist, okay? A club with MOI is the equivalent of making the club head bigger, okay, or longer, however you want to think of it. And so that mass is going to resist that angular acceleration. So where a club with no offset may rotate this much, you apply that same force to a club with offset, it might rotate to here. It's still going to rotate, just less, okay? So when you toe blade, when you hit a shallow blade, like a shallow toe shot with a blade, that twists so hard it stings your hands. You're like, ah, my hands. And then you get like a Ping I2 and you hit that exact same shot and your hands don't hurt as much. That's because it's resisting that twisting, okay? That's what MOI does. Now, so let's go back to why it doesn't help you catch up. And this is the myth, okay? It doesn't help you catch up. All right, so you're suggesting that you can get 2 degrees in 1/10 of an inch, okay? So extrapolate that. How many degrees is that in 1 inch? Oh, that's 20 degrees. In 1 inch, you're gonna close your face 20 degrees in 1 inch? Think about that. So you're saying in the last 3 inches, so 20, 40, 60, you're suggesting that in the last 3 inches of your swing, okay, here's your ball. You're 3 inches away from your ball. That's not a lot of distance. You're telling me that your club face is 60 degrees open and you're gonna snap that like this to close it, and then that 1/10 of a degree would matter. 1/10 of an inch, sorry, did I say degree? 1/10 of an inch. It can't be like that. You can't be swinging from 60 in 3 inches. What does your swing look like? What are you doing through your whole backswing? You're just leaving it open, 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 open. I need to get some momentum to get this thing going because I have that last 1/10 of an inch to close my face, and then you're snapping your wrist over or something at that last 3 inches. You see, it doesn't add up. That's not why it's helping you straighten out your shots. Well, it gives me more time. If you want more time, try this. Take your blade and line it up 1/10 of an inch back from where you normally line it up. You normally line it up here, put it back 1/10 of an inch. Oh, it didn't work, I hit it fat. Huh, interesting. Because wouldn't that offset also make it go down? Because if you're swinging down at the ball, it gets complicated, you see? It's probably more you than the club. So here's how people seem to respond to, this is how I know I responded to the Ping Zings when I first hit them, when I was new to golf, okay? Blades, you know, slicing, pulling, all sorts of just weird hits, okay? And then you introduce, you know, a Ping Zing. This is a Ping I2, not a Ping Zing. And, you know, then I was hitting that consistently, but I noticed something. It's like on my backswing, I wouldn't flare the face open because it felt big and heavy and I felt like I wouldn't be able to close it in time. So I kept that face closed throughout my whole swing. And I think that's what did it for me. Again, it could just be my imagination, but you can feel, you know, that resistance to angular acceleration. Am I saying that right? Angular acceleration, yeah, I'm saying that right. Okay, so that's what MOI is. I just lost my golf ball. I can't be bothered to pick that up. Anyway, those are the 2 discussions for today. Let's put these over here. And let's move on to fantasy golf. We need to start off by congratulating Tom Kim for his amazing victory. I mean, was he the defending champion? I think he was. That might be my imagination. But either way, congratulations, good win. And I was in the top 10 last time I looked. I was actually doing very, very, very well the last time I looked. But we'll give the Monday update right here. Tuesday is when this is going to be published. So I'll get the latest data I can and show the top 10 for the week and for the season. If you'd like to join us playing fantasy golf and discuss fantasy golf, please join us on PGA Tour, the fantasy golf. Just Google PGA Tour Fantasy Golf, create an account, it's free. Find the Vintage Golfer League, and then you too can be here on this fabulous list of amazing fantasy golf players. I love watching golf and playing golf and talking golf. It's just a lot of fun. As usual, huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It's general support on Patreon. I post a few behind the scenes pictures and updates, trying to keep everybody up to date, but I get pretty busy. So I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate Poker Chip Forum in particular. Tommy, thank you for all your support through rough times here. I mean, I had a studio leak, you guys are aware, and Tommy's been very helpful. Another way you can support this channel, visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link to that Amazon shop in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. I am The Vintage Golfer.